So January is coming to an end, and I must say things are looking pretty good. In today's video, we're going to talk about the van, reefer, and the flatbed division. We'll talk about what I see here in the brokerage department. I'll talk a little bit more what I see in our dispatch room. So here is your overall market update. So we'll talk about the van division first. So in our van division, we're finishing off the month at $2.18 per mile as a national average. This is phenomenal. Going back in the last 6 months, the last 8 months, it has been brutal. $2.18 per mile is finally giving the trucking companies some breathing space. Obviously, it's not where we want to be. We definitely want to be above the $2.25, $2.35 per mile. That would be phenomenal. But I think overall for January, the rates have been really, really strong. Talking a little bit about the reefer division, I never expected this in the reefer division. I mean, yes, it is freezing out there, especially along the East Coast. I think we've had a couple of times where Atlanta was just literally paralyzed, all of Georgia, because of how cold it is and the freezing temperatures and just ice all over the place. But the national average for reefer rates right now are $2.57 per mile. Now that is great. If you look at the last 4 months, I mean, we went from October from $2.39 to November at $2.45, and then December $2.48, and then January a huge spike at $2.57 per mile. Even taking into consideration the reefer fuel, it is still very profitable to run reefers in the US. All right, so now heading into the flatbed division. So before I get into what's happening in our office, I want to talk a little bit about the flatbed division. So we here at ET Transport run our 53-foot Connestogas. Here in Canada, we refer to them as Rolltites. All of our Rolltites are built by Verdun tarps. The reason we use Verdun tarps, we've been using them for the last probably 13 years now. I still have my 13-year-old flatbed with the Rolltite kit on it for 13 years and it's still running strong. So definitely about the durability, I give them a thumbs up for that. They both have 2 locations here in Canada and another 2 locations in the US. So if you do have a tear or a rip, or if you need a repair on these Rolltites, you can definitely have, access. For us, it's very important to have the Canadian and the US exposure. So, good job to them. Now, flatbed division currently running at $2.45 per mile. So this is really the slow season for the flatbed division. October, November, December, and January, $2.41, $2.37, $2.39, and $2.45 per mile, currently finishing off in January. So I will talk about a Ruthless freight broker in this video just to give you a little bit of a laugh. But before I do that, I want to tell you a little bit about what I see in the dispatch. In the dispatch room, there's definitely a lot more phone calls that are being placed to us. So whenever we're posting a truck on the load board, we are getting phone calls into the office more than we used to in the last 3 or 4 months. Now in the brokerage room, okay, it's a lot harder over there. It's not like it was before when they would post a load, they would get 10,000 phone calls. Now they're actually having to hunt and to find the carriers to do their work, and good, reliable carriers. Now, if you haven't seen my video on how one of my loads got taken hostage by a fake carrier, make sure you check out that video. Very, very interesting video. Quick story about a Ruthless freight broker. I think I'm going to start doing this in my videos where I give you a story of the week of what happened to us. One of our drivers delivered a load into a facility, 26 pallets. They loaded him with 2 extra pallets that was not meant for this receiver. So, each skid was about 1,000 pounds and there was about 50 or 60 boxes on the skid. So the receiver offloaded his 24 skids and left the 2 skids that were not for them. We contacted the freight broker. We said, hey, listen, we got 2 additional skids in our truck. What do you want us to do with it? So after 2 or 3 hours going back and forth, the driver's just standing around. Finally a freight broker got the approval. Okay, you guys can dispose of the freight. So I sent him a message and saying, okay, where would you like us to dispose of this freight? And he goes, oh, just find a dumpster and dispose it. I said, are you going to be paying for that? He goes, no, we don't pay for disposal fee. So what do you mean you don't pay for disposal fee? Aren't you going to pay something for my driver? Anyways, back and forth. Broker basically just told us to F off, do whatever you want with the freight with the 2 skids. We'll get you paid up on the invoice. So again, this shows the character of this freight broker. I mean, I call it Ruthless freight brokers. I'm going to constantly be doing stories about this. I posted a video not too long ago about Ruthless freight broker, full video on certain things that have happened to me in Atlanta, and I feel like, I should be creating awareness out there of certain things that happened to me. So if you're aware, make sure these things don't happen to you, or at least we can all kind of, give feedback to one another on what you can do in these certain situations. Now, but what I also see that you guys need to be mindful is that we carriers are starting to get invited more and more into RFPs. We actually have won 1 RFP in the last month, and we got invited for the month of February. We got invited to 2 more RFPs where basically a manufacturing plant gives us, 1,000 lanes to quote on, and then we choose whatever it is that we want. So definitely our Atlanta, Georgia is starting to win over bids and having direct customers with the manufacturing plants, and that is really our goal. For those of you that are interested, or for those of you that are thinking, or if you know of anybody that is looking for positions out in Atlanta, Georgia, whether it's local drivers or long haul drivers, feel free to comment down below and I'll send you over a link. Well, there is your market update. I'm Ronen and I'll catch you in my next video.